Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to create and edit templates in Crayta. A template is a group of assets which includes meshes, voxel meshes, sounds, scripts, effects, and all of the mixture of the above. And the template can store the configuration of these assets, which is really powerful and really useful. It means that you can make something once and reuse it time and again. You can slightly tweak it, turn it into a new template, and then reuse it again in a different way. I'm going to show you how to create templates, and I'm going to show you how to make edits to them and tweak them and turn them into other templates. They're also really useful for adding uniformity to your assets in your game. So you can make all of the lights in your dungeon look exactly the same and trap your player there even more effectively. To get started, I'm just going to change this world so that it's not pitch dark. And I'm going to start by making a fire here. So the best way to start making a template is to start building something in the world and then convert it into one. I'm just going to do that using a mesh. You might decide to do this using a voxel mesh. Just make sure if you're using voxels to be careful and use a separate voxel mesh from your terrain if you want it to be included in your template. So here I've got a brazier, and to this I'm going to add a fire. I'm going to position that correctly. I'll add a sound of the fire. Fire loop. Oh. And I'm going to add a light as well from the primitives tab. So notice when I've added these assets, I've made sure that they're all children of the brazier, because the brazier is the one that I'm going to be turning into the template. I've positioned them relative to that, which means that when I move that, you can tell that they're all children because when I move the parent, all of the children do. So now that I've created my template, I can click on, to turn it into a template, I can click on the template tab over here in the entity editor, click create new template, give it a name, and then click OK. This means it will now appear over in my templates tab in my library, which means I can make lots of these. Something I've just noticed is that the light is wrong in these fires. It's very bright for a fire, light. So if I want to make any edits to these, it's quite straightforward. I would simply click on one of them. So I'm going to focus on the one I originally used. Actually, I'll click on a different one. Let's go with this Brazier Fire 6 over here. Now, the light itself is the default light. So I want to make some amendments to this. So I'm going to make it maybe more of an orangey hue. I want some shadows. And I'm going to turn down the attenuation, which is how far the light reaches. So notice just because I've changed this one doesn't mean it's propagated to all of the other ones. They still have the original light. In order for the other ones to take notice of what edits I've made to this one, I have to scroll to the top of the entity editor over here. And then I need to click this copy to template button. It'll ask me if I'm sure. Once I do it, you'll see that they have all responded and now they're all the same. So I've got all of these fires here. I'm just going to delete a couple of them. And I'm going to move these into the location that I want them. So this one. Going here by this very post. And I can move this one over. So they're in position, just checking. That one's hovering. Okay. So now that I've made that, I've shown you how you can copy edits that you make in the game world to that template. But I've just noticed something else I've forgotten to add to this template. So another way you can edit templates is you can either right click a template over here and click edit, or you can navigate to it on this drop down over here, which has got all of the templates in your game world. This is the template editing screen. So any edits I make to this template will automatically update to all of the templates. This is different to what I did before, where I changed one template and then I had to click a button for it to propagate to the other ones. Any changes I make here will automatically propagate. So here I'm going to add a couple of scripts that I wanted to add to this particular template. So I'm going to click Entity, Add Script, and this is going to be a light. So this gives my players the ability to turn this light on or turn this fire on. And on the light, I'm going to add my flickering light script, which randomly changes the attenuation. So that it looks like a flickering light. So now if I go into my game world, you'll see that they're not a light, and if I run over to it and press E, it lights up. So see how that automatically propagated to my templates. Now, this template is really handy because it's got a fire included in it. So it means it's got a sound, an effect, some different scripts for turning that on and off. So if I come across another situation where I might need to use that again, then I can actually reuse the same template, but I can slightly tweak it. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to add another brazier fire, but I'm going to add it to my raft here. Except I want this to be more like an oil lantern. So with this brazier fire here, I can actually make some small tweaks. Before I make any tweaks, I'm going to click on the Break Template Link button. It'll ask me if I'm sure. What this is going to do is mean that any edits I make to this template are completely different, are completely separate to the other templates, but it also means that it will no longer update when I update any of the other templates of the brazier. So I'm going to break that link. I'm going to change the mesh asset to be an oil lantern. I'm going to change the fire to be candle. There. I'm gonna reduce the light even further. So this is going to be actually need to reduce the intensity, I think. So the light down there, and this sound should probably be a candle. Okay. So I now have this thing called brazier fire, but it's no longer a brazier fire. So I'm going to rename this to be oil lantern. And let's position it correctly. And I'm just going to test this works in my game. So notice it still has the script, the same script as the other one attached. So I still need to walk up to it and press E for it to turn on, and it's done so. Great. So now that I've got an oil lantern, maybe I want to put an oil lantern outside this house over here. So what would be really good is to now just go through the same steps as before. Click on the oil lantern, click template, create new template, oil lantern. Let's make it all one word. This again has added it to my templates menu in my library. And now I can add this to this house here. One thing you may want to do, again, is make some other small tweaks. For example, these oil lanterns here. Actually, I'll delete that one there. This oil lantern, I want that to be automatically on. I don't necessarily need to make a new template for that. I can literally just click the active checkbox. It won't propagate to the other templates because I haven't said copy to other templates, but it is a light. So it's a really powerful system where you can make everything the same. You can make everything an example of this, but also like slightly tweak it so that it's slightly different. Obviously the rotation and the location of the items are all different. And it means that if I make any updates to this template, oh yeah, one thing to bear in mind, if I now update this oil lantern template from elsewhere, and I specifically check that active, checked or unchecked, then this will revert to whatever the template is. So it's worth bearing that in mind as well. So there you have it. I'm just gonna drop the sky down for the effect. You can now see my lights in all their glory. Just over there, and you can see that very simply I've created a thing, and now I can really easily reuse it. I added a lot of depth to my world, and I can keep doing that. Another super powerful thing is to add templates into a package. So I've brought in a template that I love reusing, which is my castle template. It's took me a while to build, so I don't want to have to rebuild a castle every time I want to use one. I've just got this one castle that I always use. Now it's an okay castle, but it's kind of handy to be able to just drop in a castle when I want to drop in one. There you go. So there you have it. So adding templates to a package makes it easier for you to reuse them in other games, and it also opens it out to other people to be able to leverage what you've done and make some cool stuff with your cool stuff. So it's even better. Hopefully this templates tutorial has been really helpful. Let me know if you get stuck or if you have any feedback on how to on things you discover with templates, or maybe something isn't quite explained correctly that I'm talking about. Let me know so that I can continue to improve these tutorials. I really look forward to seeing what you make with templates in Crayta. I look forward to seeing you in the game. Thanks very much.